Hey man, how you doing, fella? You alright?
My babe!
You alright, man?
I'm alright.
Yeah?
I'm just drunk, yeah. I'm sorry, you've got youngsters here.
Who's the youngsters?
I've been called a youngster for a while, mate.
This is Gary and Nancy, and you know Paul as well, but
Absolute
Gary,
pleasure to meet
Nancy.
you. I'm
Yeah,
losing
man.
the plot there, mate. I'm ready to call it a day, mate.
Nah, man, you got a life ahead of you, man. I'm Gavin, and I work for Teen Challenge Dorset. I'm a support worker for men that are struggling with addiction and sometimes homelessness. I'm also a musician. I'm a drummer in a reggae band, and yeah, got a family, wife, 2 kids. I've never been homeless, but when I was younger, I got into drugs and drinking socially from a young age, about 13, and that had an impact sort of on my family life and my school life. I ended up getting expelled from school before I completed school. So just continued with that lifestyle till I was about early 20s. In fact, it wasn't until I met somebody who I knew had a background with drugs and alcohol and crime. His life had been changed really dramatically, and he was telling me that it was because of Jesus that had changed his life, and he was born again. And from that point, I knew I needed something was going to change in my life. I knew that one day I was going to be a Christian, but I couldn't see how that was going to happen. And then from that point, interestingly, was when things got worse with my drug using and my mental health. And actually, retrospectively, I kind of look back and see that kind of God took me to a place where things got bad for me, where I ended up crying out for his help. And that's where he intervened and stepped into my life. After becoming a Christian at about the age of 23 and moving away from, taking drugs and drinking heavily and stuff, I saw a job application come up for Teen Challenge, which I'd never actually heard of at the time. So I saw this job application for a support worker for men in addiction, a Christian support worker for men in addiction. I thought, well, if there's one thing that I do know about is drugs and Jesus, maybe this job, I can get this job. And that's how that started. Really, it was me feeling that I had something to give in that role. Generally, people like coffee best, and I feel quite guilty really because I don't have sugar in coffee, and we end up putting in so much sugar in the coffee because people love sugar in coffee on the street. But, some of the main reasons that people experience homelessness is varied, but we have to remember that our lives are very fragile, and everybody's home life, relationship life is fragile, isn't it? And to lose your job, your relationship break down, and alcohol for one is readily available, isn't it? And for a lot of people that's an everyday thing to come back from work and have a little drink. If things fall apart and that's your go-to to make yourself feel better, that very quickly gets out of control. Homelessness and addiction, and obviously people on the street are surrounded by drug dealers, strong alcohol, and to try and get yourself to sleep at night on a hard pavement, you're going to need to sometimes to have a belly full of drink to try and get yourself off to sleep. He was in the YMCA, so I don't know why he's out there. He's obviously been thrown out, but.
Yeah, cold was he?
Nah, he was all right. He was just feeling rough, so wanted to stay asleep. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm feeling rough, man. Yeah.
Yeah, dehydration. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't miss those days of hangover, just feeling.
Nah, rough. Well, should we keep walking on this side, man? Yeah. In Bournemouth, the increase of homelessness has been massive over the last 10 to 20 years. You know, when I was younger, the only time you would see homeless people, maybe you would walk across Waterloo Bridge in London. You know, you walk down through Bournemouth town centre and you regularly see people in the doorways, tents in the gardens, people begging, people walking through the days and the nights that are, you know, looking for drugs and alcohol, and yeah, it's definitely increased massively. Hey,
Thank
man.
you, yeah.
All right.
Well, I definitely will be
Yeah,
there
yeah.
on Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah. God bless. God bless.
Right.
Go steady.
Right,
God bless.
right,
God bless.
right, come on, let's go.
Go
Thank
on,
you, yeah?
Gary. Gav.
See you later. Nice
Cool.
to see you, Nicky.
Yeah,
God
see you in
bless.
a bit.
It seems to be that there's more people back in Bournemouth again as we're getting towards the summer, and yeah, we've had some good conversations with a few people that are clearly struggling with the drugs and the homelessness, and so a few people thinking, you know, they like the sound of the rehab, and we've been able to reassure them about how that works. So it's been good. So we'll see whether they get back to us. The next step would be to meet them, have a cup of coffee, a bit of a one-to-one in the coffee shop at the church, and chat about the programme and see where they're at with life. And yeah.
Yeah, my name's Andrew Mordit. I grew up just outside Bristol. I'm 56 years old. Had a good upbringing, lovely mother and father, 2 older sisters. When I was about 11 years old, me and my friends started with glue sniffing, because it was a big thing back in the day, around when I was growing up. So that was my first drug. And then I sort of started smoking dope, drinking about 12, 13. And I took my first hard drug when I was about just coming up to 14, and it was speed. You used to take it on a Friday and Saturday and go down to the youth club. So that was my first sort of, you know, hard drug. Ended up homeless in Bournemouth. I came down here 17 years ago and I went to rehab, and I've had bits of clean time in between, been in supported accommodation, had my own flats sometimes, but it just, as it escalated, I just didn't really know anything of day-to-day life really, and I just ended up homeless because I got kicked out of every avenue going. I just got evicted, so I ended up homeless.
I first met Andy, I think around about 2018 or 19, and Andy doesn't actually remember that.
Gavin told me, I met him a few years ago, but I can't even remember meeting him. But in 2023, I was in a soup kitchen.
We were looking at getting into Teen Challenge back then, and then for whatever reason Andy dropped off from applying, and I didn't really see him for a good couple of years, and when I saw him again was before the second time of applying to go to the Teen Challenge, and I'd seen the deterioration in his life massively.
Do you know what? I was doing so many drugs and drink, I just did it just to block everything out. I didn't think, the only thing I was thinking about was where I'm going to get my next fix or where I'm going to get my next drink from. Being homeless was just something that happened. You know, paramount was drugs and alcohol. So I just numbed myself 24/7.
So obviously this is where we met, innit, Andy, up here at the church at the soup kitchen round the back there.
That day, yeah.
Remember Joe?
Joe?
Joe and Karen
Yes.
sleeping in the roundabout.
Yeah, I remember.
Joe's doing great.
Is he?
He's
What's he
really
doing?
well. He's in Portsmouth. He's off the drink. He's
Really?
working. He's
That's
doing
good.
great. Yeah, it'd be nice for you to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you was an inspiration to him, Andy, man, when you came back for that first time from Teen Challenge, and he was still in the madness.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this brings back some memories,
Yeah.
walking down here.
Walking down here. I saw you a few times when we was on outreach.
Did you? Whereabouts?
Then down in the square when you was only just sat there. And
On
cold
my own?
and-
Or
Yeah, he was on your own at that moment, yeah.
right, yeah. So I spent many a time on these benches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sat down on the grass and that, you know. So it's-
Unconscious on the bench.
Yes, totally. You know, that's what it was like, mate.
Yeah. I mean, what was it like when you were sitting around, man? You get like dealers coming up trying to sell you stuff,
Yeah,
because that's common, isn't it? People will turn up on little scooters and trying to sell you stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Always trying to hassle you, like, you know.
So this bench did.
Well, all these benches, just that one, all these sort of, and on the grass a lot of the time, especially in summertime, just let out, passing out, and just watching the world go by. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I was a proper people watcher. yeah, definitely. Because
and you just keep drinking until you passed out. When he came into the community meal, the soup kitchen at the back of the church, he'd recently had a fall. And where he was very unstable on his feet because he was drinking all day long, he had fallen and just landed straight on his face, and the bruises across his face had spread from his nose right the way down across his face. And it was a bit like when, you know, a very elderly person falls over and they bruise themselves. You know, he looked about 90, and yeah, it was quite a shock to see, and that's what drew me over to speak to him really frankly and honestly and say, Andy, we've got to get you some help. The most saddest experiences I've had is where we get connecting with people, we feel like relationships are being built, hope is starting to grow, and then that person loses their life, loses that battle, they overdose. We've had people that have died whilst being homeless on the street, and that's been heartbreaking.
the doctors were telling me you're not going to last much longer, and being on the streets at my age, I would have died. I'd be dead by now. Because I had hepatitis, cirrhosis. It was just a matter of time. So I was just at the end of my tether. So I thought, I'm going to do this.
Well, should we go and see where you were then, down at the
Yeah,
YMCA?
the YM, yeah. I think that'd be a good idea. Let's go and have a look, yeah, shall we?
That way, see who's
That'd be
around.
good.
Okay.
Maybe if I can make some amends, I can say sorry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. See who's there, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey! How you doing?
Yeah, good man.
Remember Andy?
Where are you living?
I'm in here.
What,
you
the
know?
YM, yeah?
Yeah, I'm in here.
Okay.
We're just going to pop in there and say hello.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, you know, we was looking at, you was thinking about TC at one
I
point, weren't you?
was,
And
yeah,
obviously,
that's right, yeah.
there's
I went
Andy, he's
through
done it, he's done it.
Yeah, you went through it, yeah.
Yeah, 16 months ago I went up there 16 months ago. And,
It's such a long time, 16 months ago, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I bet it's flown by, isn't it?
The programme was 11 months. It was some parts of it were long, some parts of it were quick.
Yeah.
It's up and down really.
Yeah.
There was a lot of steps that Andy had to take, he had to persevere with. We had to, you know, get to probation, he had to, you know, deal with hospital appointments, and obviously when his legs were poorly, and there was a lot he had to get through. And each different stage was a challenge for sure.
When I was living in there, I was at a really bad point. It was one of the worst times because I was angry all the time. Like, obviously, I got evicted because I threatened to kill a member of staff.
Right.
And
that
and they couldn't have that. I don't know if I got arrested for that one. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he went white, you know, when I threatened him, and he was terrified.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, not nice to be working in an environment
But it's
like that.
as you say, it's a massive organisation with a lot of needs, and they haven't got enough staff, I should imagine.
Yeah.
You know, they're overworked.
Very difficult situation
Definitely,
to work in.
and people are really messed up in there. Like, you know, you're at the bottom of the ladder when you're in places like that.
Yeah.
Other than other dry houses around, the YMCA and the night shelter are pretty much before homelessness.
Yeah.
You go homeless after being in there.
They're the one rung up from homelessness.
Yeah, if you
or
get
the
kicked
next
out of
one
there,
down.
you're out on the street.
Yeah.
Because no one will touch you.
No.
Which is what happened to me. Allington House was when I first come down to Bournemouth in 2007. I came down to do 6 months rehab, which I did. I enjoyed my time there. I made some friends, but I got into a relationship, which they say don't do, but it was a mixed rehab. It wasn't like all male or all female. So, yeah. I'm a little bit apprehensive about going there because it's a long time ago, you know.
That is a long time, yeah.
It's very long. What am I going to say?
Thought you were going to knock on the door and say hello.
Yeah.
There it is, Allington House. Hi, I'm Gavin, by the way. I work with Teen Challenge. Gavin. I work with Teen Challenge in the outreach here, yeah.
Okay, yes.
So, yeah.
Can I ask, what was it about Allington House that sort of you found beneficial? What was the...
Just the staff were fantastic, as I remember, and just they made you feel at home. It was it's homely, like, you know. It was a decent rehab. At the time, I wasn't ready. You know, focusing on a girl. The whole program. You know, I was doing the program, but not doing the program, sort of thing. But but other people who didn't get you know, it's got a good success rate, and
the main thing really is to treat people with respect. Do you know what I mean? Like that's our ethos is give everybody the opportunity. When the client arrives here, you know, we just give them somewhere safe to be. We give them time to land and just sort of recover. Make sure that they eat properly, get some rest.
I remember the food was great.
And just give people time to sort of land, as it were. You know what I mean? To recover from the trauma of where their addiction has taken them, you know?
That's right, yes, yes, I remember.
Now you remember.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
No, I don't. No, I do not want to go.
Well, I won't beat you like Julian did.
No.
I have one serve, all right?
Right.
Just for a bit of nostalgia, right? I'll give you an easy one. Hey, you still got it?
Oh,
right, one more.
Oh, no, I'm not very good.
Last serve. You want to do
it? No, it's been a long time.
Okay, you surrender, do you?
Yes.
Okay, still the champ.
Yes. But yeah.
Was it garden like this when you were here?
I can't, yes, I remember that, I'm sure of it, yeah. Pat, it's a pleasure, mate.
Nice to see you.
And I do remember, when
we
you
do hugs here, you know that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice one, mate.
Well done, mate, well done.
Thank you.
Obviously where we are, smack bang in the sort of the centre of the Lansdowne and sort of town centre area, there is quite a big sort of street homeless and homeless sort of community. There's quite a lot of hostels around here, so there's lots of people who are in need, sort of physical need of food, but hopefully sort of need of a bit of a chance to sit down, relax, chat and things of that nature really. We open the door at 11:45. They all queue up out the back. Generally they start arriving, well, depending on weather, most from about 20 past, 25 past 11, and then quite often we'll have sort of 30, 35, 40 sort of out there desperately waiting for the door to open, and then they come piling in. We're just setting up what we call the day bags. So everybody, the first 60 who come in, we give them a bottle of water, packet of crisps, an orange, and a chocolate bar. It started apparently during sort of COVID when we weren't able to actually have sort of sit down. So just screw it up and then put it in there. Yeah, so we just, we get the sort of set up beforehand, and when they come in for service, we hand it to them.
I've been working in the church kitchen for a long time, probably 15 years or more. I don't always cook for In Touch. Sometimes I'm in the front there. There's other ladies that cook. But today it's a special Easter meal, so they're having roast chicken and chocolate fudge cake, as it's Good Friday. Yeah. Well, Andy used to come into the Hub Cafe when I was working in there, well, I still do. And there was a number of occasions that he was so poorly. You know, he had bad leg ulcers. I'm a nurse, so I've dressed his legs a few times. There was one occasion he collapsed on the front doorstep. We took him to A&E. And thankfully, through Gav's work and Teen Challenge, he's made a remarkable recovery. So he's really a changed man. I mean, you wouldn't recognise him from when you first walked in to how he is now. So yeah, he's a great chap, and yeah, so thankful that he's come through.
You know, it's amazing to be able to help somebody to get off drugs and drink, and to help them, rebuild their life, sober and well. For anyone that's struggling with homelessness, and they may have been around that cycle of housing and homelessness and addiction and thinking, you know, this is my lot, I would say, don't believe that voice. It's not your lot. And you know, there's always hope. If there's breath in your lungs, then you've got hope. And you know, there are a lot of services out there, and just, you know, keep going, knock on those doors, and yeah, and reach out, and don't forget that God loves you through all of it. You know, you're a human being made in the image of God, and He loves you.
Just if you've had enough, just reach out, because you will find services. They're not like massively publicised, but if you want to change, there is services in and around Bournemouth and places. So if you just had enough, just go for it and persevere. When you feel like jacking in, don't bother. Just go for it.